Hey there, here's another breeding type video on how to make puppy mush or puppy gruel for, these are 5-week-old puppies, but we started at around 3 weeks and well, give or take, depending on your litter, they're all different. Big breed, small breed, they're all different. But with a mentor, see when you start to feed normally for your breed. So for Aussies, which is what we breed, Australian Shepherds, we start this about 3 weeks, and first we start with just milk, get them used to eating on their own, then we slowly start to add dry food. So what I have here is the milk that we use, which is the Meyenberg evaporated goat milk. It also comes in a powder. It's much easier just to use the canned liquids milk because you can just warm it up. We had dry food here that's been soaking for about 10-15 minutes. And this is the same food that mom is on. It's the same food that the puppies are going to be raised on and sent home with. We do Purina Pro Plan, the 30-20 salmon recipe for the puppies. So we have that food. This is about 2 cups worth of dry food. It's sitting in water and letting it soak for a few minutes before we give it to the puppies. Can opener, obviously, to open the can of milk. Spoon. This over here is a, I don't know what it's called. It's a puppy saucer tray dish. I don't know, but it just makes it much easier for them all to eat all at once. They all can surround there. And then obviously there's a blender in the back. So what I normally do, like I said, to start with is just give them the goat's milk in this dish to get them used to eating on their own. And then we'll blend up this dry food and slowly introduce more and more of the dry food with the milk to try to get them used to eating more solid food. As they get older, you make it more and more solid until you finally transition them into eating totally solid kibble. So right now I'm gonna grab, I have another milk in the fridge. And if you don't use it all, we just plop it in the fridge with some tin foil on top. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of milk to this bowl of food. I don't really have perfect measurements. It varies per litter, per age, literally per meal. If the puppies aren't taking to it, maybe add more milk. If they like it, you can start to push them more to be more solid food. It just depends, kind of trial by error. So I'm just gonna warm this up in the microwave for a few seconds. 45 seconds to be exact. You do want to give them warm food. You don't want to give them cold food. And we put this in the blender. Oh my God. Very carefully. And then just blend that up. Now they're getting to the point where I probably don't need to blend it up anymore. We can try to give them just the soaked kibble. But for now, showing you guys how to do the gruel / mush. All right. So once that's blended up, we just stick it in the bowl. So you can see the consistency here is pretty thick. When you're first starting to make this, you want it to be a lot more runny, so it's gonna have a lot more milk and water. But these guys are 5 weeks old. I don't know if I said feeding a litter of 5 Australian Shepherds. I feed this 3 times a day, like 7-ish a.m., 1 in the afternoon, and then again at night around like 8 or 9. So 3 times a day, 2 cups of food for a litter of 5 Australian Shepherds at 5 weeks old. Sometimes they finish it, sometimes they don't. If they don't finish it, you can just throw it back in the fridge and heat it up later. Or if there's just a little bit left, I give it to mom, just because she's still eating a lot and she is still feeding them. They do still feed them through this time period. You don't want to totally take mom away at this point. She'll still go in there and feed them a little bit. Also want to make sure when you start to introduce dry kibble, you also introduce water for the puppies to have so they don't get dehydrated. But that's it. That's how we make it. Now I'm going to give it to them. All right, so now we've put them back in their playpen here where they're eating. They are more excited to see me at the moment. But they normally make their way over one at a time and start to eat the food up. Now some of them may be less prone to eat it than others. They prefer, milk or more runny food. You just have to make sure to watch them that they're all eating and weigh them if you're not sure if they're gaining. So as you can see here, there's one who's not super interested in eating the food. She would much rather prefer mom or milk. So we'll just make sure to put her by the food. She normally eats towards the end when the other ones are kind of finishing up. And sometimes if you need to feed them out of your hand to get them used to the taste or the texture, that sometimes helps. Or if you need to make another serving that has a bit more milk in it for certain puppies that aren't progressing as fast as the others, you can do that as well. Like I said, it's kind of a trial and error to see what they're taking to. The other thing to note is, just kind of observe them to see if by the end, if they are still acting really hungry and licking the bowl, I would give them some more. Most of the time, they kind of finish off and slow down towards the end. A lot of times there will be a little bit left, which is okay. You want to make sure to give them enough food and you're not holding any back with proportions. Portions and proportions. So she tends to eat when some of the other ones have walked away. So this might be a case where she'd be good to feed on her own. Although I am monitoring her and she's acting normal, pooping normal, she does eat. She finishes the bowl normally. And she's gaining weight, so she is getting enough. She's just not as big of an eater as the other guys are. Big boy was the first to be done over here. And that's pretty much it. As normal, if you have any questions or want to reach out for any suggestions, feel free to comment on the video below or reach out to me, email, Instagram, wherever. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks.